name is Jan Tosin, and today I will be reading Oh the Things Were For by Innosanto Nagara. Now, before we get into it, a little bit about me. I'm from Louisiana, and I'm currently going to college as a sports administrator. So I'm decided to read to you guys as a little service learning assignment. So we will be reading this together. Oh, the things before. Before we get into the story, I want to ask you a quick question on what do you think this book is going to be about? Oh, the things before. I want to ask you that question and see what your thoughts is on that. I'll give you a second, and then we'll get right into it. When you go to a march and raise your sign high, you'll make people smile who thought you were shy. And you'll make people wonder, does that kid really know why? You do know, of course. That's why you're there. You're there to say no because you do care. You're there to say stop. What's happening is not fair. We can't keep doing what we're doing the way it's been done. We can't keep using it, moving it, running it how it's been run. Standing together, that's how change can be won. So yes, you do know what's up and why you are there. But that's not the big question, at least not for me. It's not folks who don't know or disagree. It's folks who want to be ill with us, will feel that they simply just can't see. Folks who say we want to resist, we're on the same page. Our problems are serious, that's easy to see. Destruction must stop, we can't let it be. Stop polluting and poisoning and cheating and stealing. No one likes dictators or violence or kids going hungry. End poverty, stop war, but okay, then what are you for? Oh, what we are for, that is my favorite question. And I'm sure it's yours too, because you pay attention. You have so many answers and so many options and so many solutions that you want to impart. The only hard question is, where do one start? For this, I'd like to ask you, where do you think one starts at when it comes to having solutions and so many questions and answers? I'd like to ask you personally, where do you think one will start at? I'll give you a quick second. Get back into it. We have to start somewhere, so let's take a pick. Take something we all do. We all get sick. We get wheezy and sneezy and snuffly noses. We get headaches and tummy aches and sometimes throw up. So we sip some hot soup and we get a good rest, and soon we feel better and back to our best. But sometimes being sick is harder than that. The nurses may say we need more than just a rest. The doctors may want us to give us a test. Perhaps they'll tell us to get an x-ray. It might even mean a hospital stay. And when there's a virus that starts to run wild, more people get sicker, though some cases are mild. But so many sickies means so many meds, and not enough nurses and not enough beds. But then we are asked, who's gonna pay? Sadly, the answer is pretty not funny. When companies decide to make all their money deciding who gets cared for and who does not, depending on cash you put in their pot. So if you have means, you get care that you need. But if you don't, well, you're in trouble indeed. And do you think that is fair for companies to do and give treatment to only those who have the funds? This is a question for you. I'll give you a second to have your thoughts and answer on that. But do you think that these companies are doing the right thing by only giving treatment to those who pay? Mm. So here's an idea that we all can share. We all do our part and put in what's fair. And then when we need it, we have access to care. So health care for all is a thing that we're for. Should I go on? Continue this tour? No problem, for sure. We all know that climates are changing. The earth is a warming and the sea level rising. The ice shelves are melting, which is not surprising. Since science was warming, that the globe will keep warming if we keep burning the stuff we've been burning. But is there an answer? Some people may ask. Why, yes, you say, if we're up to the task. And the little kids down there watching the wildfires. Look up, you exclaim. What do you see? A huge ball of plasma, clean energy for free. So instead of drilling and spilling, and let's be honest, even killing, for dirty, dead dino goop that should stay in the ground, let's embrace the sun and wind and earth. Nature's power is always abound. If anyone's still not sure what you mean, what we can change so our future is green, well, it starts with committing to making it real, working together to seal a new deal. The sun, people working on some solar panels and all that. The wind turbines to keep things powered up through the use of the wind. Wow, they say. Universal health care, they say. Solar energy, such big things for a kid. Okay, that's cool. But shouldn't you be focused on kid things? Like play dates in school? What do you think? This is a question for you again. Do you think you should be focused on the big things like solar energy, or you think you should focus on the kid stuff? Because you're a kid yourself. So do you feel like you should be focusing on the kid stuff as well? Or paying more attention to the bigger stuff like solar energy? I'll give you a second to answer that. And back into it. School and play. Why, yes, on that, you have much to say. We learn more with more recess and time to eat lunch. Much smaller classes. We can't learn in a crunch. If we memorize and drill and are taught to be tested, real thinking does not get invested. Critical minds can't flourish that way. And speaking of teaching, our teachers need much better pay. Is the little kid eating and the teacher's teaching the kids? Some kids playing with the dog. We need schools that are safe. We need freedom to range. We need libraries and sports. We need cultural exchange. We need music and arts to fill our brains and our hearts. We should be seen as whole people with many different kinds of smarts. There are so many ideas upon which we can all, for a free and a fair and public education for all. The different kids learning, playing the flute, and shooting hoops. But let's get more personal. Let's talk about me. Let's talk about you. Let's talk about me Let's talk about us and the many, many ways we can be. Let's celebrate the splendor of spectrums of gender. Let's recognize and value the many hues of our skin, the many languages we speak, our many lands of origin, to whom one may pray, with whom one shares love, the diverse ways our mind work, our bodies we're proud of. Those who've always been here, on whose lands we now tread, those who dare speak up, those who act quietly instead. But let's also be clear that harm has been done. Futures were stolen by sword and by gun. We can't flip a switch and say that we're there. A history of injustice takes more to repair. To balance the scales, we must reclaim what they stole and do the hard work to make us all whole. Making us whole, that's really the theme. It's not as difficult as it may seem. Lock them up, they say. Throw away the key. That's the quick fix that some want to see. But let's take a moment and take a close look. Who gets locked up? Where, how, and why? You'll see there's a problem that one can't deny. A pattern of how the judgments we face are different from each based on money and race. And even if things were quote unquote fair, and those doing time quote unquote deserve to be there, is putting humans in cages the best we can do? In 10,000 years, have we learned nothing new? What do you think? Do you think putting these bad people in cages, whether they've done bad things or haven't done bad things, is good? Do you believe that is good? Give you a second. And then get back into it. We have, of course, and that's the good news. There are much better options from which we can choose. Lift up the idea that we dispose of no one. We're each of us more than our worst act. There's no panacea, and work must be done. Liberation's for all of us, or else it's for none. Speaking of work, we have ideas there too. Things we can change, things we can do. So many people work hard for their pay, but hardly makes ends meet at the end of the day. And as if just working wasn't hard enough, they're all alone when the going gets rough. There are so many ways that these things can be tough. We don't even have room to list all of that stuff. These are the hard workers, the hard-working people. But suffice it to say, there's many a way where workers have rights and workers have sway, where to work with each other in union as one, or better yet, in co-ops for fairness and fun. And when our rights come under attack, we will know who's got our back. Okay, I know, this is a lot, but hey, they ask, so they get what you got. They opened the door for solutions galore when they asked you, what are you for? Maybe they'd hope for something light-hearted, but you, my friend, are just getting started. So as much as you can see, there's much to be done, much to be fixed, and much to be run. But having to do stuff isn't so bad. Let's roll up our sleeves, let's do something rad. And there's all the little kids here who are willing to do this. What do you think they're gonna do? What do you think is something rad that these kids can do, or someone like you could do? I'll give you time to think on that, and then on to the next. Let's shout out solutions from sea to sea. Let's yell out our favorites. I hope you'll join me. To you, these ideas are never a bore. You've already shared many and have many, 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 oh so many, many more. When you care for the world as much as you do, creating solutions is oh so you. Of course, not all solutions are the best they can be, and on some things we may disagree. But it all starts with caring and agreeing to sharing, a radical act if we are daring. But this is all stuff that you already know. You're ready to go. You're ready to soar. You're ready to start. You're ready to roar. So off now, let's go. Let us start working. Let us start building the future we're for. And that is the end of the book. So a little assignment. After reading this book, I want you to think on yourself and write a quick little paragraph on what do you think you're for. So I want you to write a quick 3 sentences on the things you believe that you're for. Whether it's you have ideas that you think can change the environment around you, or ways that you feel like can help benefit working and things that you do that you see that needs change in your life and